Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and we are presented by the Hula Bowl. Today I have with me Tyriq Martin. He's a wide receiver out of West Alabama. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. You?
Doing all right. Pretty big wide receiver at that. I mean, about 6'3", 195 pounds. I feel like that's pretty good, you know, from the start, definitely.
Yes.
But Tyriq, tell me a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind. Just kind of catch us up to speed. Give me a little bit of your background story, if you don't mind.
Well, I'm from Goose Creek, South Carolina. Coming from a prep school. After high school, I went to a prep school called Palmetto Prep. Then in 2018, came to West Alabama. Yes, sir.
Gotcha. So, I mean, West Alabama ended up giving you an opportunity there. What makes West Alabama so special to you?
Honestly, I found them. Well, they found me at like the last minute when I was at Palmetto Prep, and didn't even come on a official visit or anything. But when I got here, everything fitted perfectly. Been playing since my freshman year, so it's been good.
Gotcha. So, you know, for people that don't know, man, I mean, you guys play in a very competitive conference there, Gulf South. I mean, it's kind of like the SEC of Division II. If people don't understand that, because I mean, again, you're kind of in that general region. But talk about you as a wide receiver. What do you feel is something that maybe separates you as a prospect?
I'll say my speed and how I get in and out of breaks, and just creating a lot of separation. So
okay, so,
and I can do many things. My bad.
All right. So when we look at guys maybe at the next level, who are you trying to you know, who are you a big fan of? Who are you trying to emulate? And you know, maybe when you were a kid, who was your biggest? Who are you a big fan of?
I say I like Robbie Anderson, because he's a real speed guy. Gets over the top, know how to get over the top of the defense. Yes, sir.
Interesting. You're probably the one guy who says Robbie Anderson, man. Not a lot of people say Robbie Anderson, but that's a good one. That's interesting. So, all right. So, obviously, Tyriq, a lot's changed over the past year. You know, obviously, we're now in like our second year so far of this pandemic. I mean, 2020 was a tough year for a lot of people.
Yeah,
obviously, with everything shutting down and what have you. You guys didn't really play in the fall. You got a couple games in during this past spring. Talk to me a little bit about COVID, maybe like how it sort of hit you, and really how you stayed motivated during that time.
Honestly, at first it was like, wow, I won't be able to play a whole year, but it gave me a lot of time to like get better at my craft, get stronger, and just get better at what I do. I say like all that time off, it was a lot of just working on like getting out of breaks and catching the ball better and all that stuff. So it was good.
Great. So let's kind of transition a little bit, talk about kind of like a typical week for you. What does like a typical week look like when we're preparing for your opponent? So just give me like a feel for like maybe what you're doing there in the film room or the weight room, if you don't mind.
On Mondays, as a team, we go all in and watch the DBs and the safeties. And then in the weight room, our first days is squats. So we're squatting, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays we're doing benching. So yeah, that's about it with that. And then on Fridays, well, let me go back. On Thursdays we have a little walkthrough day. And then on Fridays we go in and hard, like rep up the nervous system again and get back to it. And on Saturdays is game day.
Gotcha. So let's backtrack just a little bit. So, I mean, at first I talked about the film room. Who do you feel you have studied the most there? Who's been like your best competition that you guys, have tried your best to do excessive film study on? Is there like maybe a particular team or player?
I would say Delta State. They have a pretty good DB. He's an All-American, also number 6. I forgot his name though, but that was mostly what we really focused on that day. Yes, sir.
Yeah. His name's Junior Falk. I mean, I remember actually sitting down talking with him. You actually had a pretty good game against him, which is good. We could talk about that here in a little bit, but before we get there, again, let's just chit chat about this weight room business. I mean, gained a little bit of weight since you've been there. So, I mean, obviously putting on a little bit of muscle for sure. But tell me a little bit about maybe like how you approach the weight room and like your favorite lift.
My favorite lift, I say benching. I love benching actually. I'll go with squat too, actually. Benching and squatting for the most part.
Nice. So, again, we chatted a little bit about that game against Delta State. Some great opponents, with an All-American that you have to face like regularly. So obviously, again, like you said, had to put in the extra work there for the film room.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel like that one game against them was like your best game? I mean, what do you feel has been like your, most memorable moment there at West Alabama?
My most memorable, I'll say we played Mississippi College. It was 4th and 5, and I had press coverage, beat the press coverage, and my quarterback threw up a hope, and I made the play and scored a touchdown on. Yes, sir.
Nice. So fourth quarter, it's all on you, bud, and you end up coming down with it, and the crowd is going crazy. So
yes, 4th and 5.
Gotta love those moments for sure. So
yes, sir.
Tyriq, one of the things about you that I feel is very interesting that adds a little bit more depth to you as a potential prospect and athlete is going back into your high school. You actually were a very successful track and field runner. So chat with me a little bit about those experiences and maybe how they've helped you as a football player.
I started track in my sophomore year of high school. So transferring to that, like on the field, like going from track to back to football in the spring, I could feel myself like feeling way more smoother like in my running. So yeah, it helped me a lot. And I also learned how to run for real, like with a good form and all that stuff.
Right. I mean, some of the numbers that I was able to pull up with you were some damn good numbers, really, to be honest with you. So, I mean, let me just kind of drop those real quick. So, 10.78 in the 100 meter dash, 21.60 in the 200,
yes, sir.
and decent long jump. I mean, 22 feet 9 inches. That's a decent long jump. So, I mean,
yes, sir.
A guy who's able to really get it done. They're doing track and field events as well as they're out there on the football field. So
yes,
definitely a great athlete for sure. So
yes, sir. Appreciate
it. Again, talking about you as an incredible athlete there in high school, if we were able to maybe go back to that high school self and give him a little bit of advice, what would you tell him?
I say just take advantage of every opportunity you get, because you never know when it'll be done with. Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously there have been a lot of coaches over the years that have really helped mold and shape you into the person and player that you are. So what do you feel has been like the best lesson that you've ever learned from coach?
I say the best lesson is staying in the weight room and the film room also, because the more you know your opponent, the better you'll be.
Absolutely. So I mean, obviously you have to stay studied up and ready to go. So
yes, sir.
I definitely feel that. So
yes,
I do want to get a chance to meet who Tyriq Martin is outside of a football player, outside of an athlete. So tell me a little bit something about yourself, if you don't mind. Any hobbies, interests, anything interesting about yourself that you feel like is worth sharing?
Yes, sir. I love to fish, catching brim and bass. I'm also a church boy, so you know, drummer boy at the church. When I'm home from school, let's see, I like video games a little bit, just a little bit, but not too much. But and I love sports, obviously.
Obviously, of course. So
Yes,
I don't know what it was, but a part of me was like, I knew he was going to say he loves to fish. I mean, that was kind of one of the things that was like,
but yeah, every time I'm home with my dad, we go fish, catch the big bluegills.
nice.
Yes, sir.
So again, being from South Carolina, tell me a little bit about your hometown, if you don't mind. I mean, if I were to come visit you there in South Carolina, other than going somewheres to go fish, what would we be doing down there?
Let's see. I guess it's a good bit. We got a lot of beaches in that area, so it's a lot of beaches. Really, yeah, pretty much the beaches. That's all I will look into when I'm there. So, yeah.
Gotcha. I was going to ask you, what is like your favorite comfort food? I always think about like that for guys a bit down south, and some of the interesting meals that they might have. So when you think about comfort food, what comes to mind for you?
Uh, I say some good soul food. Maybe some baked beans and rice. Some yams, macaroni, and I'll mix it together too, like that, and just eat. Yes,
Nice, nice. Can't go wrong with that stuff. Be quite honest with you, like all those things are just fine for me as well. And
yes,
I'm just a few miles north of you, so it
yes,
ain't too bad on my account. So um, as we begin to wrap up, I try my best to ask these questions to everybody, and I know they're a bit corny, I know they're a bit cheesy, but I still think that they're valid. I do want to ask you your why. Why do you play this game of football, and who or what motivates you the most?
I say who motivates me most. I say my parents. Them being there like the whole step of the way, even if it's just me going to like just a little ceremony or something, they're always there behind me. Been there every football game, never missed even when I played basketball, track meet, anything like that. And what was the other question? My bad.
No, that's okay. I think you more or less answered it. I mean, the whole idea
Oh,
again is just to give me the reason why you play this game of football. So, is
yes,
there
sir.
any more to that you wanted to add or no?
I say like having like little kids, having them being able to look up to you and showing them that you can do anything you put your mind to.
Gotcha. And I realize your situation is a little weird. Again, I mean, because this pandemic, you have the opportunity maybe to come out, go pro, stay back, enter your name into the transfer portal, like all these crazy things that could potentially happen. But for those people that might be interested in you, whether it be an NFL scout or even maybe a team that you may end up transferring to, I want you to give them your pitch as to why they need to bring you in and make you a part of their team. So, what kind of teammate you would be. So, go ahead and give them your pitch if you don't mind.
I'll bring in a lot of speed, a positive guy that'll help out whenever someone needs him, and a shoulder to lead on, and I'll just be there. And when it comes down, I know in a foxhole, I'll be there. I'll be able to fight and help win.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stress it enough, man. I mean, you can't teach size and speed, and I think both of
So,
which you got.
yes, sir.
You got a whole lot of that for sure. So again, 6'3", 195 pounds. Likely a guy within like the 4'4" range. I don't know. You didn't really
Yes,
drop
sir.
that number, but I mean, I'm assuming like with all those track and field numbers, you got to be in that range. So I know that
Yes,
there are
sir.
a lot of teams that would really, like to have a player like you. And I feel like that's really, one of the biggest things you got going for you. Somebody's going to be giving you an opportunity for sure. So, Tyreek,
Yes, sir.
thank you so much for your time. Wish you best of
Yes,
luck
sir.
moving forward. All right.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Sure. Again, this is Tyriq Martin. He's a wide receiver out of West Alabama. Definitely check him out.